Hello, Nicole. Hello.
Hello, Eric. Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, to the BBCAN finale show. Or
It's a
better yet,
finale.
it is a finale. But let you all know other words that start with F, like follow. Make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe wherever you are watching this show right now so that you are alerted every time that we go live or post things. And it's such a great way to support our shows. We have all of the postseason interviews coming up.
Yes.
Of course, we have interviews with your final three tomorrow, but that's not like the postseason. The postseason ones, you guys get to ask your questions to them
Sure.
here live for an hour. So you're going to want to follow, like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit that bell on YouTube. Of course, we read your comments and share. Sharing is caring. Let everyone know that we are live right now or in the future when you get to the end of the show. Share it then. Let people know about this show if you've enjoyed it, your favorite patron groups or Reddit or your family members. And look, if you're like, God, there's so much stuff, are we following you everywhere? You can head over to hellofriendspod.com, click on that Find Us Live link, and there you will find Nicole's socials, my socials, the show's socials, and follow them all up. Comment, engage with us because these shows are for all of you.
Absolutely. And as always, if you're listening to the audio podcast version in your ear holes right now or later or in the future, which means I'm speaking to you in the future from the past, please leave it a 5-star rating and a positive review. And again, share it with all your podcast listening pals.
I love podcast listening, pals. I love pals. I love buddies. I love being correct and right all the time. It's so great to be me. Would you like to hear an audio clip
Okay.
from yesterday's show? I think Braden
Okay.
has no chance to win with Ty, and I think you're going to get to see that play out. And then
Mhm.
I think on the finale show, every 3 minutes, I'm just going to have a little button that goes, I told you so. And then you'll have to say,
No,
you're right, I doubted you.
it frustrates me because like yesterday's show, we both explained the same exact thing with the dynamic, who the final two are probably going to be,
Yeah.
how Ty and Tara are probably fighting for first or third, Braden unfortunately probably getting second, and we saw that play out. And the whole argument about Braden was not what you're making it to be.
I just would like to point out that I was correct and said Braden will get one vote, maybe two, but I doubt it. No chance to win. And let me just check the score here. That'd be 6-1 with no chance. Got it. I'm right all the time on finales. I have a
That,
great track
but that
record.
wasn't what we were discussing,
It
though. Like
was.
I feel like I'm in like an alternate universe.
You're
we
not.
discussed we discussed who we thought the runners up and the winners were going to be, and who we discussed were the third placers and who the AFPs or CFPs, and then we talked about mathematical odds, and that was it.
No, I said that there was no way Braden gets more than one vote. You told me I was wrong.
And I said there's a way he could pull it off, and I
Was
said what
there?
his argument should be and what his speech could be, and yeah, it maybe could have happened in another realm. Maybe had
Well,
Tara
I'm
gone
in
into
the
jury.
reality of this world.
I'm saying if Tara had, maybe gone into jury, she could have
Yeah,
spoken to them and given her side of it. Like I
yeah,
said, the pre-jurors were very team Braden. We saw Victoria be very Braden for a little bit there.
yeah.
We saw Beth and Jed kind of maybe more so Beth and Jed kind of question Ty. And I think that comes down to one thing I've always said about Big Brother: the
Yeah.
last person out of the house always vote or typically votes differently than the jury, because the jury has that time to sit and kind of let stuff go and see it as a big picture, whereas the
Yeah.
last person out of the house is like, no, this is what my heart is saying. So it was very interesting to, I don't know, kind of see that
I
dynamic still
agree,
play out.
JJ. You have to let me have this win. I got it exactly right. I got it exactly right. You can be happy for me. I got it right.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying we discussed everything. I could play an audio clip from me yesterday saying Tara was going to be third, Ty was going to be first, Braden was going to be second, Kiefer was going to win CFP.
I have all the audio clips. You said that Braden was gonna win.
I said Braden had a 1 in 3 shot. That is a mathematical fact.
Right.
And that's the
And
end
then
of the topic. I refuse to be disrespected on another show, so I'm ending it. I told you
uh,
off air, I'll tell you
okay,
on
I'm
air.
sorry. I thought we were allowed to joke, and I just wanted to say that I got it right, but I guess that is an attack on you. Okay, so what are we gonna talk about now?
Why don't you start? You got a big mouth.
Okay, I have a big mouth, and I was right. Yay! I'm gonna enjoy my win for one more moment. Thank you. Booping. I see my boopity boop boops. So, back to the start of the episode, there was the exciting part one of the HOH. What did you think about that? How did they do? Braden won.
Yes, I thought I had PTSD the beginning of that comp
Uh
because it was
huh.
very Indiana Jones vibes, and I'm like, "Oh, don't tell me this is a freaking rope bridge. This is what's happening." Um, but again, something that we've said all season, I really, really liked seeing a competition that anybody can win. I like seeing something that's not, oh, this is definitely going to be a tie, or you have to be small and tiny like Tara. It was awesome to see that it was definitely skill based and focus based, and something, regardless of where you fall on the spectrum, you can at least do it.
I agree. I really thought that Ty was going to win that. I really wanted Tara to win that. I was floored to see Braden pull that out.
I was happy for him. I think the edit kind of showed, like, I'm okay. They're showing Tara a lot. I'm like, that's odd. Then they showed Ty a lot. And I'm like, they're not really showing Braden. And Braden kept on saying, like, slow but steady. I'm a science major, so I know object in motion continues in motion. So I'm like, this is kind of interesting that those little pieces are sprinkled throughout. Tara being like, I got this, and Ty being like, I got this. So I'm like, I wonder if that's more so the angle it was going, and it was I don't know, I was very proud of him, especially kind of like, everything that we've been discussing, him kind of being viewed not so much as an underdog but as like a written off. So it was nice to be like, there you are, final three, winning it. You have that power, you have that control, and now you're going to go into part two and face off against the next one. But they couldn't do it. They had to go to a sudden death. That's tough.
Yeah, I think it was I have to say overall I was underwhelmed with the I was underwhelmed. I'm going to blame it on COVID. I feel like I told a lot of people to watch this season because
Mhm.
the final 3 finale is always amazing, and I mean, these comps were good, but I was just like a little underwhelmed based on what they've done in the past.
Okay, maybe because I haven't seen
Yeah.
previous episodes, so I'm basing it off the season. So I think they were pretty, like, consistent in the comps. Um, I don't see, that's the thing. I don't know how grandiose previous seasons have been. I don't know how previous finales have been. Which I don't know if you want to talk about that now or later. I was kind of wondering their whole tackling of the finale. Is that always the way they do it? I don't know if you want to go into that now. But I was kind of like, what?
What? No, go ahead. What are your questions?
Like, do they get everything out of the way and then, like, there's this awkward 20 minutes where it's like montage, 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 and there's like 4 minutes left, quick, crown the winner. Like, I almost feel as though they had the 2 hours, and I thought we were going to get more after the winner was crowned, and more a round table of Ty talking to everybody and hear from Braden how he feels and why Tara voted for him and how Kiefer feels. Like, I feel, as with BBUS, the ending was again very rushed despite all that time.
Here's the thing, and I am not saying that this is not deserved. No, it was a little different than
Okay.
previous seasons, but I think what the goal was in the edit of this show and the climate and time that we're in was a little bit of tooting their own horn, like, look, we did the most diverse cast, we're
Yes.
the most diverse, oh, and lots of gay people too, look at us, we're so amazing. I feel like there was like a lot of shoving that down our throat. And here's the thing, um I love that, and I'm fine with that, so long as we keep with it. The thing that scares me in dealing with any network, and this is nothing to do with Arissa, is networks and television shows have to make money for the da 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 da, and that's the hot thing to do right now. We're inclusive. That's the hot thing to do right now. So everyone's capitalizing on it. My hope is that this isn't a
Continues.
we're capitalizing on it because it's the thing right now, and it actually will continue. Now, what I said, what we said, all going into this season and supporting Big Brother Canada is we all have to support this season because we know it's going to be a diverse
Yes.
cast. And I think it speaks for itself. I think everyone agrees it's one of the best seasons we've had in a really long time. And I think that holds up on its own right more than putting an edit together to tell us it. This season speaks for itself, the people, who they are as people, the moves they've done, their character, their everything about that cast and how diverse they are as a cast made this season so amazing
Yes.
because of their diversity, and I think all the credit goes to them, honestly.
Absolutely, and that's
Yeah.
I would yeah, like, yeah, it was a little tooty horny, but I do think, like you're saying, I think it's more so this cast was amazing. Let's show you again how amazing they are. Remember all of these fights, remember all of these moments, remember all of these discussions. All of these things happened because they're an amazing cast. And I think, like we were talking yesterday about like being a dysfunctional family, and that's exactly what Rose said. It was nice to see like Victoria say, "Oh no, once you leave, like everything's under the bridge, like we're all good." I saw a lot of camaraderie there. And like I said yesterday, I think there's an incredible cast. I think they're going to be an incredibly close cast. And I do agree, I hope it continues moving forward, and I think it will. I think it will for that sole purpose of this season was so great. Why not continue it? And you should continue it. Period. Having diversity and more and more and more. But because the season was so dynamic and so incredible and led to discussions, that's all the more reason why it should continue. And yeah, like it's one of those things. Like we knew it preseason, we knew it during the season, but actually watching the finale, I was like, yeah, this was a hell of a group.
It was. It was a hell of a group. It was a hell of a season. I loved it.
I know. I It's kind of like bittersweet because when it comes down to it, and like they put their keys, or I guess their pellets, pogs, I don't know, circles, when they put them
Circles.
in, their diskies, when they put their discs in, you're just like, all right, announce the winner. I want to know. But then you have this moment of like, oh, but then it's over. So it's a little sad. Like you want to see the jury together. You want to see the pre-jury come back, but a part of you is like, oh, but that means that's it. So it's, I don't know. It's a little like, oh,
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, I'm ready for it to be over. I honestly don't want any more of these shows if we're not doing it the way they've used to be done. I want audiences back. I feel bad for people that come out to nothing. I think it's sad for them.
awkward.
I'm just ready. I want audiences back.
No, I want families back. My dad kept on asking. He's like, "Where's Tara's family? Where's her kids? Where's her kids?" I'm like, "I don't think they're there yet, or if they are, they're not like on location. Like, I'm not really sure how that works, but that must be very awkward to watch seasons and know that the families are there, know that an audience is there, and then you walk out and it's like, oh, that's right. I was
Right.
in a bubble and now I'm out of the bubble, and there's still a bubble, so I can't like that has to be extremely extremely tough. And I felt for Tara. I felt for Tara walking out third, to that moment of like, "Hey, Arissa, I can't even hug you. I'm just gonna sit here like, hey."
Yeah, I mean, I feel I mean, like we said, we knew Kiefer was winning,
Yes.
favorite player. Ugh, I'm sorry, his whole jumping up and freaking out with, LaToya's speech to be like, yeah, yeah, is exactly why he makes my skin crawl when he acts like that. And I was like, oh, I can't believe you're the person who's winning America's favorite.
You know, that's I don't know, that's just his way and his whole like loyal to the
Yeah,
soil. I think
douchey way.
that was his moment of like, see, I was loyal to the soil.
Mm,
Here's my spoken proof from somebody who watched the whole season that I didn't flip first. They turned
sure.
on me, and therefore I had a reason for why I turned on them. So you remember they're in this jury house for
Yeah.
however long, and him and Jed are probably talking, and and Jed's probably like, no, you turned on me. He's probably like, no, you turned on me. And so to hear Latoya at finale say it, it's like, see, you turned on me first. Proof from our ally. And I think that's just his way. I think he's just a very um, proud person, a very prideful person. So when you have that moment of I'm right, I think he just can't contain it, which we've seen on the feeds. Like that's his nature.
Yeah. You know what they say, pride comes before the fall.
That would make it summer.
Yep. That would make it
Okay,
summer.
so then part two of the HOH, of course, since Braden won part one, that means Ty and Tara face off in part two. What did we think of part two with the throwy knockdown numbers?
I think it definitely was favoring Ty. I feel like after Braden part one, they might as well have called part two and three. We need Ty to win these.
The only I shouldn't say only because that's kind of stereotypical and biased to say like, oh, throwing is more of a guy thing than a girl thing. But I think the one thing that I noticed balanced it was the whole like little thing they had to crawl under every time they knocked down the numbers. So I'm like, all right, that'd be easier for a Terra to crawl under than a Ty. So maybe that was their way of kind of balancing it where okay, he might be a better thrower, but he'll get kind of caught up there. And I really did think it was closer because he had mixed up that one and he was struggling with it because he didn't understand not understand, but when you're in a comp, it's like what the hell of the not unanimous. So he
Mhm.
was struggling with that, but Tara got stuck on the whole how many balls do they have in like the mole, I think it was competition, and you go, oh, she probably mixed it up a couple times. She got flustered. She figured it out. Did you catch when they announced the times?
I think so.
Ty won it 11 minutes and 41 seconds.
Right.
Tara, unless I heard incorrectly, so chat correct me. Tara, it took 49 minutes and 11 seconds. That's what I heard. And I could have very well been in a house full of people and misheard the TV. Um, but if I'm correct, she
Yes.
really
Courtney says yes. She was 49 minutes.
so she was a half hour behind. And so that means that question took her like she got caught on it for a good
Well, she had
20,
to go
30
one
minutes.
by one. She didn't know the answer.
And then she forgot which one she did, which I know the average person watching at home is like, how do you forget? But it's very easy when you are flustered and sweating and your life is on the line and you can't think straight. And she just kept on knocking down that seven, and it was breaking my heart. I just feel so bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like it was very clear to me they wanted Ty to do well in that one. And then again, I will say this is edited. This is not a surprise. Maybe there were more questions. I just found it very funny that the second Ty got in the lead with the A or B questions. Like, okay, Ty, you win.
Well, don't they always do 7 questions or no?
Yeah, but was that the seventh one?
Yes, because she was saying two
Uh,
more, one more.
Two more. I don't know. But I mean, yeah,
What?
it just seemed very funny to me, and it seemed like they gave Ty a lot of time to answer.
Mine was like, I'm like, somebody off camera is like distracting Braden because like he answered B and then he went, oh no, it's A. And I'm like, that was a very odd. It's almost like a real like someone like hypnotizes somebody. I don't know. It was very odd. And they were so close. And had he gotten that one correct, Braden, and
I don't
because
know
he
why
did know
he
the
couldn't
answer,
change it. I don't know why he couldn't change it. Ty didn't answer yet.
he should have been able to change it. And I also believe Arissa should do what Julie Chen Moonves does, which is the whole answers are locked. Like
Right.
or they should lock the devices somehow. But he should have been able to change it. Would have been a tie. would have gone to a tiebreaker, and who knows where we'd be at this moment if that was the case. Probably the
Uh,
same outcome.
I think that to the same exact kind of point with the part 2 competition with the numbers, I would have just went up and knocked the numbers down. Who says you had to throw balls just because they gave you balls?
No,
It said knock the numbers down. I would have been
you
like,
find a
"You did."
loophole. Doink, doink,
I would have
doink,
been like,
doink.
"There's my loophole. You didn't say with the balls."
They probably
Oh, I'm sure they did, but based on the edit, I would have walked up to them and knocked them down and be like, "You didn't say I had to do it with the balls."
and then throw the number at the button so you don't have to go under that thing.
Yeah.
It's true. You
You
just have
gotta
to
be
protect.
like a rule stickler. You gotta be like a rule stickler.
It would be a rule breaker. A stickler would follow the rules.
Yeah, I'm following the rules. You told me knock them down. You didn't say how.
Oh yeah, I
I'm a
guess I think
stickler
that
for what you said.
would be a rule breaker because they
No,
think it's unspoken, and then you're breaking. I guess you're not breaking them if they're not
can't
written.
break something that's not there.
Wow, it's deep, man.
So Canada fixes their outcomes as well. That's extremely disappointing, says Michelle
Oh
over
no,
on
we're just being
Facebook.
we're just being
No,
truthful.
Michelle, we are not saying that. Nicole is when you retell this story. Here's the thing. No, I don't think that they fix it at
No,
all. I think unlike our finales or our Thursday shows. These are not live, and again, I don't think that's a secret. So they have plenty of time to, tweak the edit to be how they want. I knew 100% when they showed the jury and Vic going, Braden has my vote. I was like, no, he doesn't. And then when Marissa's like, you might think you know what they're gonna do, but
mhm,
do you? And then they were all like, Ty, ooh, I'm bitter. And I was like, oh my God, this obviously they're not going to show everybody going, yes, we're all voting for Ty, and then have Ty
yep.
win. So as soon as they showed that early in the episode, I was like, ugh, 100% anyone.
It absolutely, and I think, Beth is somebody that I'm like, is she really not feeling Ty, or is that, no offense, just part of like her shtick and her character that she's just, trying to get across? And obviously when Jed had said like reindeer in his thing, I was like, okay, that kind of seals it. But I know we're kind of jumping around here, but one thing that I definitely wanted to point out is in the final questions that they
Mhm.
pitched at the final two, the one thing that I was like, yes, Tara, yes, so freaking smart. And you and I spoke about this, I believe it was during All Stars, I want to say. I forget the specific obviously thing, but I remember talking about it. Tara wanted Braden to win. Tara knew she was voting for Braden. And what did she do? Instead of saying, Ty, why do you think you deserve to win over Braden and giving Braden the floor? What did she do? She said, Braden, as a fellow underdog, please tell everybody how you fought to get here. And she gave Braden her question and her time to pitch himself and sell his game and talk about himself. And I believe it was All Stars where the person did the opposite. And instead of handing the person they wanted to pitch themselves the time, they came at the other person and gave them the opportunity to defend themselves. So I want to be like, kudos to Tara for giving the floor to the person she wanted to see win it. I think that was very strategic, very smart, and it really helped him out.
You think anything those people answer matters?
Yes. I think I would say not, I'll be honest. For jury, I don't think so. I think jury obviously sits down. They're
Well,
talking
that's what I'm
about it
talking
weeks
about.
upon weeks. They're all talking with each other. I think third place finisher, who is just walking out those doors, I think the final speeches do impact your emotional state and where you kind of stand in that moment. But
Right.
even then, I would argue your last week in the house kind of influences that more. Um, and unless that person's dropping a huge bomb or insults you, I don't really see people wavering too much. I almost thought maybe Beth would waver, because I don't think Ty really answered her question well. I feel like she's somebody who needs her ego stroked, and I feel like he didn't do that. So I was like, oh no, you may have just lost her vote. But he had Jed's vote locked. Obviously, I felt Beth was going to do what Jed was going to do, but had Jed not been there, maybe it would have hers would have changed. But I think otherwise, everybody's talking in that jury house. They're like, "Oh my god, tie! Oh my god!" And that's it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't think that anything like yes, I get what you're saying about the
The last one.
comparison between the two things, but I think Tara being third, it didn't matter that she did that. But think yeah, I could see what the other people are saying might influence her, but a third place person in general, but I really don't think so. I think a third place person in general is super bitter at whoever voted them out most of the
When
time.
I think of my experience, and I guess yeah, I guess it wasn't final speeches. It was because obviously I knew they were going to take each other. Mine was the conversations I had with them the final week. Like I would purposely get Mickey alone and talk to him. I would get Holly alone and talk to her, and that's how I assessed it. So I guess mine wasn't final speeches. Mine was more so final interrogations before I left. But that is a very valid point. Typically, the person that leaves is either butthurt or no, that was the best move you could have made. Of course, I'm going to vote for the person that got the great and invincible me out, you know?
Exactly. So I don't even know what the point of the jury questioning is in like if I was in a jury and I had to ask a question, I honestly would just try and think of like I would think of something funny that had nothing to do with game. I would literally start my question with we all have already made up our minds and nothing you say is going to change it. So that being said, what's your favorite appetizer at the Cheesecake Factory?
You do know you can't
Shout
cheat.
out Cheesecake Factory, sponsor me. That's what any smart person should do there because you know it doesn't matter.
The
You're on
questions are pre-approved.
television,
The
primetime
questions
television.
are no,
What?
questions are pre-approved, and that might be a little bit of a penalty if you go shouting out
Oh, yeah. Okay. Questions. Well, I
brands.
would convince production to let me say something funny.
Okay.
That's what I would do. Like, it doesn't matter.
They wouldn't like. I mean,
I,
I'd assume they want to be mature
Sure,
and
Wendy's.
professional.
I would be like, Wendy's.
There you
What
go.
is
There
your
you go.
first offer gonna be? What is your first Wendy's order gonna be when you guys get out?
Now that you could do. You'd be like, what are you gonna cook on your new Weber grill with your sundial soap? Sunlight? I should know, I've heard it all season. Sunlight
Sunlight.
soap. And then what are you gonna get from Wendy's? So maybe yeah, that you could probably do, but you can't just blurt
I
out like, I love you, Dollar Tree.
I agree, Rasha's Fun World. Avocado egg rolls indeed.
Oh my god, so good. So good.
I have to also say though, if we were gonna rate the final two people's speeches, who do
Mhm.
you think did better in the speeches?
I think Braden did a better job. I think
Yeah, me
Braden
too.
was more collected and calm and mature and professional. And like we were discussing yesterday, all the points I said he hit with like, I lost my ally early. I had to adapt. I was fluid. I really focused on my social game. I was on the block 5 times, never had a vote against me. Here I am, friendly with all of you. Like he just pitched it and then he sat. Ty came across to me extremely, extremely nervous. And I know that's just like, a person's nature, but I think in being nervous, he almost like instead of coming across as like, I did my best, I fought hard, and that was it. It was kind of like, I did everything right, you did it wrong. I had to send you out because you're stupid. I had to send you out because you didn't see it coming. And I'm shocked more people weren't butthurt by that, which again, we've already discussed. Jury already
No, it's
has time.
Canada. It's Canada. You're literally allowed to in the game tell the people I'm voting you out. I can't beat you, and that's just totally fine. That's just Canada. You're
Yeah.
allowed to be direct and honest with people when you
And
play Big Brother in Canada.
that's the thing. I think as we saw, kind of like with a poll on BBUS both seasons, I think, a tie argument of like, Beth, like I was loyal to you, but that was it. Sorry, you had to go. I think that would almost be like, I'm sorry, what? Now I'm not voting for you. And I think maybe Americans are just more bitter, but I think Braden came across more collected and calm, like a Cody, whereas Ty came more across like an Enzo. That's how I would
And
say it.
Ty didn't even mention never being on the block.
I know. Like
Or
I
again, it's not live, so he did, and they just didn't leave it in the
true,
edit.
which I saw, I think it was Scarlett in the chat said earlier, so odd to have a 2 hour finale and only give them a minute to speak. Again, there was all this kind of like dead time, and it's like, all right, final two that everybody's been waiting for all season. Speak. You're done. You're done. Sit down.
I thought that Ty's answers were not great. I thought that Braden answered the questions better
Yes,
than Ty did, although I will say I don't think Braden did it perfectly. I think he did not give enough examples of why his game was superior to Ty's game.
okay. Like
Again,
conflict.
also not that I think that it would have mattered, but I just think if I was rating answers, I thought Ty did horribly. But here's the thing. I don't think Ty played that great of a game. Well, again, I knew there was no way Braden was winning this game. I wanted Braden to win. I me value a Braden game way more than a Ty game. I value a back against the wall, fight your way, always fighting, you're always on the brink of going home and pulling yourself back versus I agree with what the jury said. Ty was kind of a little not can't say floater because he was in on the plan, but letting everyone do your dirty work
Is a good game.
means you didn't do it.
Yeah, because you didn't have to.
But
That
that's an
is
easy
such.
thing to say. That's a real easy excuse to say when you make it to the end of the game. It's super easy to go, I let everyone else do it. You don't have to back anything up.
Yeah,
Braden had to show how he
yeah, but
fought
look
and
what Braden
win
said
instead.
too. Look what Braden said
What
too.
do you mean?
Braden was like, I even threw some competition so I wouldn't look like a threat. Nobody knows if that's true or not. It could not even be true. Maybe he just lost things, but he said, I even had to throw stuff to show I'm not a threat. And he may have made that up just to help his game. I think Ty played a stellar game. You know, you and I said that early, like weeks and weeks ago. And I think it was like what 3 weeks ago or so. I said, "Damn, like he's really impressing me with the way he's navigating, the way he kind of turned on Jed and Beth." I hate the term floater. I've always said that, but I don't view him as at all in a sense of like, oh, ooh, he got there. I view it as he has a stellar social game. He positioned himself, a big guy with a physique that people might typically be like, get him out. He positioned himself with two allies that he knew would be bigger than him and
You
kind of
think
put
that
them out
was
in
his
front.
choice?
Yeah,
Think it's
he
really easy for people to revisionist history their games to make their ending speech sound really good. I don't think it was
of
ever
course.
Ty going in that house being like, I'm gonna go get Jed and
Well,
Beth, two powerhouses. No, I think he was friends with Jed. Beth liked both of them. Beth got them to be in the thing together,
so he
and
utilized
Ty,
it.
like he's done all season, just takes credit for being in the conversations.
No, he utilized it. There could be people
Sure.
that get asked, "Hey, you want to be in the sauce?" And there's been people in BB history that go, "Nah." There's people, I'm not aligned with you, I'm aligned with them. Like he
Who says
utilized the
that?
people that wanted him and the people that wanted to work with him, and he navigated perfectly. When that their little dinghy wasn't floating, he jumped ship at the perfect point in time. He fostered a relationship with Braden all season that ended up really, really obviously benefiting him. And I don't think there's anything to fault about that. Obviously, everything is revisionist history. Everybody at the end is going to go, oh, damn, week two when I was nice to Bob, that's why I did it. No, because everybody navigates, everybody adapts, everybody does it, and those that aren't able to, we see go home. And that's why Ty didn't, because whatever the week was, he adapted to some extent. And whether you kind of view that as floater or positioning yourself well, that's more so like
I
a
don't
you
think
thing,
Ty's
you
a
know.
floater, by the way.
I don't think anybody's a floater. I don't like that term.
Yeah, I don't think in any means Ty's a floater. I just think Ty had a very easy game compared to Braden. I think
I
if
think they had very
you were
different
to
games. Yes.
ask pre-jury who they would give the win to,
Yes.
which we
Yesterday.
will, I bet you pre-jury says Braden.
Yep.
'Cause
And that's it.
Tide and I agree, that's a good social game. I am not saying it is not a good social game. It is a great social game that you really didn't have to do anything for most of the game. That is a great social game. Not disagreeing with that point at all. But you saw in his end questions when he couldn't really point anything out other than, I was in conversations at nighttime. Right, because you didn't do anything. You just were a vote and you went along with what other people did. That's
But
the truth, whether people want to admit it or not. And don't get me wrong, love Ty, happy Ty's winning. But again, I'm operating in reality of what we watched happen.
But again, he could not have been. He could have said, haha, I'm going to throw a hinky joke, hinky joke, hinky vote. And then people go, it was Ty. We've thwarted him. Let's get him out. Like he decided, I'm going to vote with my people
Sure,
to
I give
navigate,
him
you know what I mean?
all
And
the
everything,
credit for his votes.
regardless, like everything, is a conscious choice. So, it is regardless it's game. And I think, yes, you I don't even like the word easier. I would say different. He played a very different game. I don't think anybody in that house has an easy game. Yes, some people have it more difficult mentally. People have it more
Do you
difficult
think
with
being
the
the
comps they
pawn
need to
is
play.
hard?
What
Do
did
you
you say?
think being the pawn and the person people want to go out when plans fail makes your game harder?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that was the position Braden was in almost every other week, and Ty
I know.
never was.
And again, I said this yesterday. I said yesterday he had one hell of a game. When you said to me, "What are Braden's points?" I said he had to fight week after week after week after week, and had pre-jury voted. Of course, he would have won because those are the people that were friendly with him and understood his struggle in his game, but also got to watch it from the outside looking in. But again, I think it's apples and oranges. They had very different games. You can't. I think what's difficult as viewers is we watch a game, right, and we go, that person won every comp. So what? So you're a comp beast. Oh, that person was friendly. So what? You're friendly. Oh, that person voted with the house. So what? You vote, and it's kind of like, well, what winner would you be happy with? So I think it's just a very
Tara
different
Braden.
game, and that's what we see. Yeah, but there's people that wouldn't want to see Tara because
Well,
she was
they
quote
should
unquote
get their own
already
show,
evicted.
and then they can have their opinion.
But people would say Tara was quote unquote already evicted and now she's going to
Yeah,
win. There's people that have that argument. So I think there's always going to be somebody that says that type of a game, I can't
yeah.
believe that person won. But guess what? He won. So he's the winner. So it has to be applauded.
Yeah, I'm thrilled with any of them being the winner. That's what I said during part 1 of the finale. I was like, I loved it. There wasn't one person that won part 1 that I would have been like,
Yeah.
"Damn it, my person lost." I equally across the board would have been thrilled with any 3 of them
Mm.
being the winner.
Which is so funny because we've said that since week one. We've said it with the
Mhm.
who's your favorite player? We were always like, I don't know, kind of all of them. Vic is interesting and Keeper's interesting. And oh, what is this? Like, it was always okay, like I don't know, I kind of like all of them. They all kind of annoy me, but I like them. And the same thing with the finale. I think it was that feeling of this is a great cast. However, the chips fall, like people are going to celebrate. I think that's why it'll go down as one of the best seasons ever because anybody watching at home is like, okay, even if you're rooting for one of them, you're still like, okay.
Yeah, I really am happy with any of them
Mm,
being the winner. I truly am. I just
seriously.
think, in the interest of it's a show about your opinions on the game when we can give them, my opinion is that I don't think, for me, Ty's game was this epic, flawless thing that got him the win. Exhibit A, he couldn't really answer any question in the end to pinpoint anything he did other than say, I influence people.
Mhm. Yeah, no,
You
it's true.
didn't
And
win anything. You didn't make any moves. You let the other people make the moves.
that's the thing.
So
You would
if
be a juror who would
right.
pitch that in the jury house. You'd be a
Yep.
juror that would say that and probably vote for Bray. And
Yep.
And that's why I'm arguing it's so different when you live it, because yes, there's feeds and yes, you see it, but there's a different dynamic and a different air when you're in it. So obviously those jurors having these conversations were like, oh well, Ty did do this, and oh wow, so there was, more there as to how they were viewing both games. And I see a lot of people in chat saying Bray never really had to do anything. Bray never really had to, fight. He was never really a quote unquote target. And
Mhm.
people have argued that as well. Like, yes, he was on the block 5 times, but he was never the target. Does that make you a quote unquote bad player because nobody wanted you out? Or does it make you a really good player because nobody saw you as we have to get him out? He's annoying, or he's abrasive,
Well,
or he wins all these comps. So again, so much of Big Brother is luck, and this finale has been the result of probably 80 something percent luck. Me personally, as being an underdog, fight your way back, scrap, crying in the DR, this monumental moment. I, of course, was rooting for a Terra triumphant. Oh my God, she freaking did it. Look at her. She fought from the ground up. But I'm very, very happy with the final two and the winner.
yeah, and I think that people who say Braden didn't or Braden blah 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 blah, I think then saying he was on the block 5 times is showing exactly that Braden was always in a position to have to fight, which is my point to those people that Braden had a harder road to get to the end. Ty had an easier road. Again, his answers, he can't give that great of things that he did in the game other than say, I was up all night and influence people because he
And that's why
doesn't have moves to make.
and that's why again, like I wish they just gave more time. Like I love a
Right.
montage. I really, really do. I'm not gonna lie.
I do.
But take out the montages and do a roundtable. Have the
Yep.
jurors follow up with, well, how? What conversations? What moments? When did this happen? What did you influence? You're mentioning Kyle. How? You're mentioning Kiefer. Explain. Like there needs to be more in depth than here comes finale, here comes finale, here comes finale. Boop. Like there needs to be more of a sit down, really discuss it, really hash it out. That's
I
what I
agree
would
with
like to
that.
see more so than,
I, I
montage.
Destiny's is very adamant about saying Bray was a pawn and not a target, though. Big difference. I don't know what show you were watching, but I know Beth every single week was super threatened by Braden and pushed really hard to get him out every time he was up there.
Yeah.
So did Kiefer. There were people that were, yeah, 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 you're the pawn, while trying to get him out. So I don't think that he was up there as a pawn every week and like, oh, this is so easy. Braden has it. And we all know if Braden wouldn't have won that the card ante, the all in thing, he was
Yeah.
gone. He was
And
100% gone. And if we could roll it back, and I hate to say this point, and I can't wait to yell at Braden, you know what I think would have changed the game? And obviously, any one thing would have changed the game. But if Braden would have not voted Terra on that fake double,
yeah, but like I said,
I know it would have been the ripple effect, blah, 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 blah. I totally get all of that, but it would have set them two more up to be in
mhm,
a position where Ty and or Kiefer would not have been there. And I think that moment, more than anything, cost Braden the game.
but again, if he voted one way and Kiefer voted another, and
Sure,
she came back, how quickly would Kiefer spin it and be like, "I was the one to vote
sure.
with
I mean,
Kiefer, not Braden."
We'll
Yeah,
never
so
know.
yeah, it could have very easily backfired in that sense too. But I do hear what you're saying, and I was very proud of him, kind of in how he defended himself in the whole voting to evict Beth over Kiefer. That was
Yeah.
kind of a pickle of a question, and that could have, yes, obviously he didn't win, but that could have really hurt him and faltered, and that could have been really, really bad to the viewers and to the jury, just in general. But I was very proud of him for being like, no, I did that because Beth is somebody who constantly said I'm in her pocket, and I'm not. And I wanted to prove I'm not, and I want to prove I make my own decisions, I play my own game. And I think that was so well spoken and so well articulated that I think the home viewer and people in the jury, they were like, oh, okay, damn, as opposed to, well, I don't Kiefer, like, that would've been so bad. It would've been like, "Oh my gosh, what'd he do that week?" Like, he at least he had an answer, and that's what I always say. As like you always say, as long as you have an answer and it's what felt right in that moment, then you can sleep at night, and I'm glad he has such a great, like, reasoning for that.
I am glad. Yes, I think he did have a very good. I think he had a reason. I think he had a reason. As well. If Ty hadn't won, I wanted Tara to win. I wouldn't have said that a few weeks ago. I agree with that. I don't think I would have wanted a Tara win a few weeks ago either. Um. So yes, between a Ty and a Braden, I would have wanted. I did want a Ty win. None of that is my point. My only point is I'm surprised. I knew that Braden was getting one vote. I was going to be floored if he would have got a second, but that was before we saw the events of the finale play out. Based on the events of the finale,
Mm,
I am floored he did not get more votes, that more
yes,
people in that jury didn't put more value on Braden's game. Up until
yes.
that point, to me, it was very clear why Braden was dragged to the end of the game. I feel everyone felt they could beat him easily. So, to see him win the part one of that HOH, to see him do well in the part three, to know that Ty won and that Braden's game kept him there, like all of those things, I'm surprised that didn't make anyone else in the jury go, "Wow, he actually made it to the final two."
I think there was that moment, and, like, obviously, this is an edited episode, but I did feel like I saw a glimmer of that moment, and yes, Victoria is, spicy and dramatic and a little over the top sometimes, but there was a moment where she did genuinely look upset and torn, and she kinda looked at Kiefer, and that was after the final
Well, Kiefer
speeches.
told her who to vote for.
That's what I'm saying, it was after
Yeah,
final speeches, and she, like, looked at Kiefer, and I could tell it was a moment of, like, are we continuing with the plan type thing? Like, oh wait, are we still doing this? Because that speech by Bray was pretty good, and I think Kiefer gave like the, no, we're keeping it. I don't know. Like, I feel like there was a moment there where Victoria felt it in her heart of like, damn, Braden like did play a good
yeah.
game.
So
Like, should I give this chance?
another example of Ty not having to do anything and Kiefer and Jet and Beth doing it for him. Got it.
Which
Um,
again is a testament to his game. If you have that
sure.
much of a hold and an impact on people where they're willing to vouch for you,
Yeah.
that's exactly what you want in jury. You want everybody to go into jury and vouch for you tooth and nail. So the fact that he has that hold over people where they're like, tie, that's incredible.
Or you need Ty to win, or else your stupid alliance is a joke to the Big Brother community. So
Exactly.
you need your alliance to win, and it has way more to do about your own ego than trying to Ty's game or anything
But
Ty
again,
did.
that's game. He was in alliance with
Sure.
people, whereas maybe Braden wasn't with those people, and he was with an alliance of people that like their ego stroked and
Yeah.
want their alliance to come out on top. So it's kind of like, oh, vote for me. Our alliance did it, guys. Stroke the egos. So again, it's all a factor.
I just have to say, if you're gonna play a future season of Big Brother, go find the people with the big egos and just circle jerk them off the whole game. You won.
It's so much luck. It's so much. It's I don't know. I give all of them so much credit playing the game. I give them three especially credit for making it all the way to finale night. I give them two credit for sitting in those final chairs and being interrogated by a jury that's like, we're about to vote for you. So what do you have to say for yourself? And you're sitting next to a friend, you're sitting next to an ally, and you love them, but you want to win. And I don't know. I just give them a lot of credit. Like, period.
Yes. Is Eric suggesting Beth played harder than Ty? Yes, Beth played harder than Ty. I don't think it was a good game, but Beth played more game than Ty did. Yes, badly.
Beth
She
Beth
played it
played more
badly.
outwardly.
Yeah, she played it more outwardly and did it, but yeah. And now I will agree, dumb on Beth's part. She did too much,
So you're
said
saying
too
Ty was
much.
smart for being quieter.
Yes, I think Ty was smart for being quiet in that scenario.
and that's why he got where he got, and that's
Yeah.
why someone loud like Beth didn't. That's why someone loud like Victoria didn't. That's why someone like a
I
Josh
guess
blowing
this
things up
is
didn't.
I guess this is the thing because I do see people saying like, "But you think Derek played a great game?" Sure,
Exactly. That's the equivalent.
and I can give you the exact reason what the difference is. Derek let me know in the DR every single episode what his plan was, who he was manipulating, why he was manipulating them, and I didn't get that one time from Ty. So
And that's not Ty's fault.
if Ty ever talked to a camera, let me know this was his plan. I give more credit to Beth going in the game, going, I'm going to find two guys, make them fall for me, make them do the shit. I give more credit to Beth for that because I'm sorry, it's very easy to go, this game was my plan the whole time when you never told us at once.
But you can't
Just
say
saying.
that though, because A, what they show in the DR is not his problem. It's, what production
True.
chooses to show. But he did give the whole rant about, the chessboard and him being a bishop, and now's the time to go after the queen and the king and all these
Yeah,
pieces and
which
whatnot.
was after the
So
fact.
he explained all of that, and then what was it he also did? He also explained um why he jumped ship when he did. He also, when Jed confronted him, was like, too bad, so sad. Like, now's the time. And I think you, especially as someone who always said, don't play emotional, don't play personal, just play it cold, strictly game. That's exactly what Ty did, especially in that moment of, Jed, I love you, but it's not my problem. I have to send you home. Like, that was a very purely, strictly game moment. And I
Yeah,
think,
and it's a
yeah,
great game. And it's a good game, and you win it if you do play that way. I agree. I as a viewer would have liked to have known that was your plan the whole time. Is all I'm
yeah,
saying.
but if you're just not a talker to the cameras, like that, just like
Or to other
obviously
people or in the
he
DR.
executed it. So whatever it may be, he executed it, and there he was, final two, and he
Yeah.
won it. So like, regardless of anything, people could argue it's luck. People could argue he was dragged. People could argue he had a wall of Jed and Beth protecting him. People could argue he fought his way there. He was a beast. Whatever you want to argue, he still won.
Yeah. What do
And
you
you have to
have to
won it.
say? Yeah, he's still won 100%. Now I'm not gonna, say the person's name, but what do you think of this comment? Because I have seen people saying it that they lost respect for Ty when he made the comment, I want a black person to win, so Tara never had a chance. How is that fair?
I think Tara didn't have a chance, period, because him and Braden were always
Shit.
allies. Like, them two were always final two. Them two were always taking each other. Like, that was always the way it was, period. And I think, I don't know. I just think the diversity of the cast and talking about it all season and
Mhm.
the nature of everything. Like, I just think that, I don't know. Like it's hard to explain. Like, that wasn't his reason, but it was his reason, but it wasn't his reason because it was
Look,
more.
it was his reason, and that's the game. He's allowed to have his reason. Guess what? If I would have made it to the final two and it was like a gay person, straight jock. Let's try again. Gay person, straight girl. I'd be like, bye, sweetie.
Yeah,
Gays
and
at the
and
end. So
and you're
like,
allowed to say,
yeah,
I would love for, yes, yes.
right. You're allowed to, and not for nothing. Tara was in a position several times in the end game to keep a Kiefer. To, I guess that would really be the only one she could have. And I mean, I'm not saying that Kiefer is white, but I am saying if it was, she had the option to make a move. It wasn't out of her hands. So
Mhm.
she made her choices based on her decisions. Ty's allowed to make his decision based on what he wants to make his decision on. That's the game.
And it wasn't like he was final two with Tara and was like, "F you, you white bitch." Like it was nothing like that.
Imagine he did.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Imagine that was Ty's final two
Like
speech.
I mean,
Fuck you, you white bitch. Bye.
but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, him and Braden were always allies. They were always close. They were always a final
I would
two. And
die.
And I'll take it from Melanie. Ty wanting to make history is absolutely amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that
No.
he used his platform to actually come out and say it and be like, yes, I want a
Yeah.
black person to win. I want to see two black men sitting in the final two. I want a black winner of BB Canada, which is what we got and what we should see more of, not just for the fact of it, but just
Excuse.
there should be more diverse
Mhm,
cast where we do see more diverse winners because why not?
mhm. I'm sorry, dear future Big Brother player. Please, if you make it to the final and you are a person of color and there is a white person there, just please make that be your eviction speech. We'll know who it's for. I just want to see someone get up there and go, F you, you white bitch. Get out.
You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean,
But
and I
yes, look,
would
if I'm
love
ever
to
in a
see
future
it.
season and somebody wants to evict me, that's what they can say.
Oh my god, I would have lived for it. And I specifically would have lived for it in the Ty scenario because you know that Ty has love for Tara and Tara has
That's what
love
I'm
for
saying.
Ty. So it would have been funny if he would have did it.
It's horrible.
Um
No
but no.
profanities.
And again, I will just, put it to you this way. If that is something that you think is unfair, then imagine how every gay, black, Asian, minority that has played Big Brother Canada for the last 7 years and been outnumbered 12 to 1,
Yep,
or BBUS for 20 something seasons
yep,
and been outnumbered 15 to
yep,
1 at times.
yep.
That's how they felt. So guess what? Times change and now yeah. It's just that it's the way that he crumbles. And I'm here for it.
That's
I am
that's
thrilled with a tie win.
that's a perfect way to put it. It's the equivalent to, oh, we already filled our token person of color slot.
Right.
Like if like let's just think. Let's just think.
Yeah.
Let's just think. Like, come on now.
So no. And I mean I get it. I can see, don't get me wrong. I can see how there will be white people watching this. Honestly, same thing as you. But I'm just saying, there will be white people watching going, this makes me so angry. This is not you need to just
Wait,
like
me?
breathe it. Yeah, you, Devon, saying she wouldn't vote for you because she
Mhm.
wasn't gonna be responsible for wow.
What's happening?
name.
I'm so confused.
David going
Oh,
home, wow, came to me. But my point is, there will be people that feel like it's so unfair, and if the skin colors were reversed, we would all be enraged about that. But you just need to take a breath and go, the fact that you are angry about it, understand, is the way people on the flip side have been feeling for forever,
for a very
and
long
it's
time.
why we're in this situation.
Exactly.
So you need more understanding and compassion and education, and to which I do say, White Fragility is the name of a book, and I suggest everyone read it.
Hmm. I agree with that.
It will teach you that things are not a personal attack on you if someone says I don't agree with you,
Yep.
or it is because of a skin color. None of that is an attack on you. It's an
Yes.
opinion and a thought, and
Exactly.
you're
And I
allowed
think
to hear thoughts.
Maximus Mom says it in the chat. Three people of color won tonight, and that's amazing. I love it. Love to see it. I want to see more of it in all BBs and all reality TV across all countries, all channels, all everything. And it should have been the way a long time ago. And I'll leave it at that.
David. Mm,
David, I love David. He's doing
okay.
so well. Just an
Is he?
update.
What's he up to?
Just being amazing, working out, being healthy. Oh my god, I love
Uh-huh.
his hair like that. It's just a whole thing. But he's doing great.
Right. He had every right to pick whoever he wanted, plus Tara kept the pair. Exactly, Paula.
Aw, sorry, I'm reading chat and I'm loving it.
What?
I see Melanie saying, as a proud Native American, we won the night. I love that. Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Congrats to Kiefer on winning Canada's favorite player. Um, and taking off his jacket and cheering and being the proud, amazing keeper that he is. I just love him so much. What I did want to bring up, speaking of nice outfits, pre-jury, we got to see all the love buggies from pre-jury. We got to see our Julie and our Josh and our Latoya and our Kyle and our Austin, and they all look great. And it was nice to see them. And
Can
I
I
always
just be
miss the pre-jury.
honest?
What?
Or I'm not going to be so honest because it'll be bad. I'm going to put it. I was going to phrase this sentence differently, but I won't. I'm going to change it and just say I'm most excited to talk to Josh postseason.
I listen. I love everybody. I really do. I
Right.
really,
And
really
I'm
do.
excited to talk to Josh postseason. Full
I
stop.
I love everybody so much.
Uh-huh.
But I think there's just something because this is my first full season of Big Brother Canada, and last season had ended early. I just feel there was something so lovely about our interactions with Julie and Josh those first 2 weeks when the season started
Julie
and it was
too,
new,
honestly. Yeah.
right? Like I feel like there was just something very, it's a new season, it's not going to be canceled, no COVID, like we're all gonna be happy and watch this. And like I just think there was a very good energy at that time. So them too, when I think of this season, there's just like a light of joy around them. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. To me, I'm like, ah, and then like they're all great. They really are. The whole cast. I just love them all. Come here so I can embrace you in my bosom.
No. Sorry, I'm being so rude. 1 second. Okay, sorry. I just had to answer a text. It was very important. It was from Ty. He was congratulating, he was telling me thanks for covering the season. I was like, I know Ty, I love you. Um Julian Dress Rose is what about so people saying what did we think of Latoya shading Beth and Judson?
I I did not. I don't know if my thing cut out. I have no idea what people are talking about.
I don't either.
And I'm not trying to be like, what? I don't know, shade. No, like I don't know if my feed cut out, but I see a lot of people saying that in the chat, and I'm like, when? What? I didn't notice that, so I'm kind of
I
curious
don't
as to
remember. She said that oh, she said it was the showmance nobody wanted to see.
when she say that. Listen, I didn't hear it, but what I will say, Latoya, I wish stuck around so much longer, and I do hope to see her in the future because she is such a strong mamma jamma,
Oh,
and
that's why.
rewatching the arguments, I was like, she puts people in their place. Like she like shuts them down, and like I want to see her play more of the game. Like, oh, and again, she was both of our picks to win, so like I think that's why I want to see her play more. But seeing her too, I was like, oh man, I really missed her.
I agree with Little Big Red who says production spent zero time on Beth and Jed showmance. That was refreshing. I think that has a lot to do with Jed's mom. However,
Hmm.
uh Courtney says it happened when Kiefer was doing his jumping up and down and like punching his
Hmm.
penis movement. I don't know what it is when guys do that thing. It looks like they're
It's a
punching their penis.
flex. They're flexing. Yeah, yeah.
Have muscles. Um, so my point is I was busy rolling my eyes when that happened, so that's probably how I missed it.
Oh, that's when she said it.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I missed it because I was laughing, going, "Oh my gosh, Kiefer's too much." And then I said, "This is a very like what's the word for it? Not like flamboyant, like showy, a very showy cast. Like when Victoria stood up to ask her question, it was so flashy. There's the word. When Rohan stood up, very flashy. Kiefer, everything was very flashy. Like you could tell. I would argue that was not their first time asking the questions. I could tell it was like do it again with emotion because I could tell they were like Ty, you like it was just so everybody. And then Rohan stood up and he was like Braden. Like there was just so much like rawr. Like I was, and you think of like BBUS where it's like, Bob, why do you think you deserve to win? Like I feel like you could tell it's live because everybody's scared trying to make sure they can unvelcro the note from their seat and make sure they don't trip off the stage with their dress and their heels. So you could tell it was pre-taped and they were all like, yeah.
Yeah, apparently Braden made a really good facial reaction to it too. Clearly I was just too busy
See?
rolling my eyes at it that I couldn't get past it.
I need a clip.
They exist.
I need a clip.
Um they exist. You check them out on the tweeter. I'm sure Power of Tweet of Cheeto probably has it. Yes, Sparkly Eye says Power Cheeto has it. On Twitter. Um speaking of Kiefer jumping up, punching himself, flexing, whatever, we're saying happened.
Mhm.
Um, if he got a little bit hurt, you know what he might need?
He might need key fit real bandages.
Nope, but he might need someone who has bandages,
A doctor.
not a doctor.
A nurse.
A nurse, which is the perfect segue to say Happy Nurses Day to all the
Yes!
nurses out there that watch our shows. We know that we have so many of them that watch our shows, and we want to say Happy Nurses Day to you.
I love that segue. Yes. Happy Nurses Day to all and to
Right, it was
all
just so
help.
natural. I had to work it in there. I mean,
I
how could
loved
I
it.
not? The way it just came up so easily.
I love that. It came up so needly because they use needles. What?
Mhm. Mhm, mhm, exactly. And another shocking twist tonight, Poonteen Poppy, Anthony keeping it a secret from us that
I
he was
know!
hosting Roundtable. Anthony gonna yell at him later too.
And did we not say, we're like, where are you? And he was like,
Yeah, he was
"Ah."
like, eh. I'm like, you're a liar.
I was so excited to see him. Oh my gosh. Like, this is my problem. I don't understand how they don't hug. Like, he would walk in, I'd be like, "Ah!" That's what I would do, just like that.
I feel like it's the point, like, just hug now.
I mean, he had on a mask.
He had on a mask and, like, aren't all those people vaccinated? I
Yeah,
guess I it's not the US, it's Canada, so I guess they're having issues over there with vaccines.
who doesn't want a hug from him?
From Anthony? Oh, I would want a hug and I would not let go.
And for the
Um,
record, I know a lot of people saying he wasn't liked on his season. I didn't watch his
no,
season. I just know how he's interacted with people in myself postseason.
I did not care for Anthony's game his season. I gave Anthony shit on Twitter all season. Before Anthony did the show with me, he was literally retweeting my not pro Anthony tweets and commenting on all of them. And I was like, yay, let's do this. And much credit to Anthony. He came on, he explained all of it. And, Anthony has been like amazing ever since.
And those are the people I appreciate. I appreciate the people
Yep.
that are able to see a game for a game. Like Victoria said about like the whole like dynamic with Tara. She's like, all right, we walked out. It is what is over now, which I'm hoping ends up being the case. Like I respect
Well,
so many house guests who are able to be like, season wrapped, let's live life.
not for nothing. If you missed our show with Anthony this season, go check it out. But I Anthony even admits that that was the flaw to his game. Anthony even admits if he had to play again, he would do it differently because he realized there were ways which he handled situations with people which came off badly. And
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
flat out said he realizes that. So that's all I think any of us want is growth and whatever across the board.
Absolutely. If someone says to me, like, "Oh, Nicole, I really didn't like your gameplay," I'm like, "No, okay, like, yeah, that's fine. We can talk about it." If you're like, "I hate you, you dumb white bitch," then I'm like, "Oh shit."
Then call me because that's what I want. And I need someone calling someone a dumb white bitch on one of these shows, and I need it. I just want it to be a soundboard.
No rude comments and no cursing, please.
Um, so
So
if you guys have any questions for Ty or for
Braden.
Braden or Tara, You can go leave them on the Hello Friends Twitter or Instagram posts, which are up
I will
right now.
I will
Now,
repost them so they're right at the top and right at the front.
and don't even be upset because, again, we get like 10 minutes with them tomorrow. So, we don't have time to get all the questions in, but fear not. If you put your questions there and we have them all from all season,
Yes.
your questions will be at the top of the list when they join us live for an entire hour starting next week.
Yes.
So, leave your questions for them now, wherever you want, Twitter or Instagram. And like we said, we will be talking to them tomorrow morning. I'm pretty sure that show will be up right after. And
And also keep in mind, if you are thinking, wait, what happened to the instant sudden eviction of Kiefer? That interview was also dropped this morning. So if you missed
yeah,
our exit interview with Kiefer, make sure you check that out. That's available on all broadcasting locations and all podcast providers. So you can listen to it, you can watch it. Good times with Keith.
why does Eric want to hear from Josh so bad? Because he was funny during the season. He had a great sense of humor postseason, and he seems like a real one, and I always like the real ones.
Fun fact, day one cast assessment, you were most afraid, I guess I'll word it, of Josh, and now he's your favorite. And I was most afraid of Tara, and now she's one of my favorites. So I think it's very, very funny.
It is very funny, and I cannot wait just to be able to talk to these people,
Yes.
which will hopefully be starting next week. So, again, we are not going anywhere. Make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe so that you are alerted every single time we
Yes.
go live. So you are alerted when those the final 3 short exit interviews come out from us tomorrow, and so that you can see our tweets about when we are having each of your favorite house guests on starting next week. Of course, we also have our circle coverage coming and more. So follow, like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell, all of that joy and goodness. You guys know the deal. We appreciate it, of course. Sharing the show now that you've made it to the end of the show is always appreciated. And hellofriendspod.com is where you can find all of our socials so that you can follow in all of those places.
Yes, and I didn't point out for anybody listening to the audio version or for the video watchers, I brought my festive glass to commemorate finale night because I don't want a water bottle or a glass. I'm like, gotta be fancy for finale. So here I am with this green glass. Look how fancy I am.
And what's in it?
It's a mystery.
Are you sure?
What do you think it is?
I don't want to say. I don't know if we're allowed to joke yet.
What do you think it is?
I think you're like that girl in high school that's like, I'm so drunk. Look, I got all those wine glasses, wine in it. I'm so drunk.
What is it?
Look, I'm swirling it like they do. I'm a sommelier.
What is it?
Water.
It's apple juice.
I was going to say apple juice next.
Oh, Kylie got it. Good job. Destiny's. Wow. Oh, wow. People really know me. Thanks, Liliana.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Like the juice in my cup, we are filled with sweetness and love from this season, and our cups have overfloweth with joy for this cast and the diversity and the winners and the runners up and the thirds and the fourths and the Canada's favorites. So cheers to BBCAN9. Our exit interviews are coming, our postseason interviews are coming, and here is to many more seasons of BBCAN to come.
And thank you so much to all the live feed updaters who updated all season long. We appreciate you guys so much. We will see you all in a bit. Bye for now, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye, friends. Go leave your questions for people on social media. Bye.